Hello and welcome to Learn Hindi Lesson 49. I am absolutely thrilled you're here with us today. In this explainer, we're going to unlock one of the most powerful, literally fundamental building blocks of the entire Hindi language.
Welcome to Lesson 49. So today's explainer is entirely focused on mastering exactly how to express want and need in Hindi cleanly and confidently.
Section 2. Understanding want and need. Basically, to express a simple desire, we use chahiye, and for a strict necessity, we use zarurat.
Okay, let's dive into this first major grammatical rule that applies to both of these concepts. Whether you're using chahiye for want or zarurat for need, you absolutely must use the oblique form of pronouns. Now, you might be wondering, what does it actually mean? Well, normally, if you want to say I, you'd use the word may. But here, the whole structure kind of shifts. Instead of may, you got to use the oblique form, which is mujhe or mujhko. It literally translates a bit closer to me. So you aren't really saying I want, you're structurally saying to me a want is there. Make sure you keep mujhe locked in your mind.
Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the critical difference in how these sentences actually end. When you use chahiye to express a want, that word is strong enough to stand entirely on its own at the very end of the sentence. It doesn't use ending verbs like hai, hu, or hai. You literally just cap it off with chahiye and stop right there. But when you use zarurat for a need, it absolutely requires that ending verb. You must finish the thought with a hai.
Section 3. Simple examples in action. Let's model these rules using some totally relatable characters, Rahul and Anna.
And this brilliantly illustrates our first rule in perfect form. Let's say Rahul desires some tea. Because it's just a want, we use chahiye. Notice the structure here. Rahul ko chai chahiye. We use the oblique marker ko right after Rahul. We stated the object, which is chai or tea, and we ended the whole thing entirely on chahiye. There is no hai at the end of this sentence. It's clean, direct, and perfectly grammatically correct.
Let's move over to our next character, Anna, and see how this builds upon what we just learned. Anna has a necessity. She doesn't just desire it, she really needs money. So we switch gears to jarurat. The sentence becomes Anna ko paison ki jarurat hai. Now, because jarurat is a feminine noun in Hindi, we use ki right before it. And look at the very end of that sentence. Because we use jarurat, we must conclude the entire thought with the ending verb hai.
Let's solidify this pattern with one more quick example. Rahul's back, and this time he desires a new pen. Once again, it's just a want, right? So the sentence is Rahul ko nayi kalam chahiye. Nayi kalam simply means new pen. And just like the tea example we saw earlier, chahiye cleanly caps off the sentence. No extra verbs. Honestly, once you start hearing that rhythm, it becomes completely second nature.
Section 4. Speaking practice with me. Okay, I need you to actually say it out loud. Passive listening is great, for sure, but speaking out loud is what builds that true muscle memory.
Imagine you're at work and you want to ask for a day off. A leave. In Hindi, the word for leave is chutti. So, I want a leave becomes mujhe chutti chahiye. Now, repeat after me. Mujhe chutti chahiye. Mujhe chutti chahiye. Excellent! Notice how you instinctively used mujhe instead of main.
Now, let's flip it into a question. Imagine you're asking someone else what they desire. What do you want? Translates to aapko kya chahiye. Here, aapko is the formal oblique form of you. All right, repeat after me. Aapko kya chahiye? Great job! You're asking for a want, so you just naturally end on chahiye.
Section 5. Now it is your turn. Let's really challenge you to apply these grammar rules totally from scratch.
Here's your prompt. How do you translate the absolute survival necessity, humans need oxygen? Think about the rule we just covered. Are you expressing a casual desire or a strict, literal need? Which word are you going to use? And critically, how will that sentence end? Take a second, just build the sentence in your mind.
And the answer is, humans ko oxygen ki zarurat hai. So the crucial point is that because oxygen is a life-sustaining necessity, we use the word zarurat. And because we used zarurat, our grammar rules strictly dictate that we must anchor the sentence with the ending verb hai. If you got that right, give yourself a massive pat on the back.
Section 6. Summary and next steps. Let's do a rapid-fire recap to firmly lock these vital language rules into your memory. Let's quickly hit the main takeaways. First, when expressing a want or desire, use chahiye. And remember, it never ever takes an ending verb like hai. Second, when stating a true need, use zarurat. And for that one, you absolutely must include the ending verb hai. And third, the fundamental rule tying the whole shebang together. Always use the oblique form of pronouns. So swap out words like maye for mujhe.
As you move through your day-to-day, look around and ask yourself, what is something you merely want? And what is something you deeply need? Try building those simple sentences in your head just to keep the momentum going. Thank you so much for learning with me today. Subscribe for more and follow me on Instagram, link in the description. And if you want to learn Hindi one-on-one with me, msg me on Instagram or email me.